All right, so if you are running an online service business, maybe that's an agency or a high ticket consulting or coaching business, and you want a better and more predictable way of acquiring clients, pay attention to this, right? Essentially, I'm about to walk you through this new appointment setting workflow that we're about to implement for all our clients in our community. So, my name is Serge. I run clientacquisition.io. It's a growth consulting, growth management firm where we partner with companies and we build the infrastructures that they need to be able to scale their businesses, right? And last week, I got a pretty good win from a client, and it made me want to promote this appointment setting workflow because of how efficient and just like it's effortless to win with it. So I'm about to walk you through it. The goal is that at the end of this video, you may be able to know how to add an extra 50K per month in the next 4 months. Okay. So let's get straight into it. Why should you leverage this as soon as possible? Well, this process is based on, so I analyze the sales process of my own business, and every time a client works with us, I'm like, hey, why did you decide to work with us? And I mapped out the client journey and realized that 95% of everyone who works with me went through the same process. So they went through a specific process, and the way that this workflow works is essentially recreating that journey for people who are cold. So like a cold audience, right? And 5% of the rest had not gone through this process. So my goal is, how can we replicate what 95% of our success looks like, right? Imagine being able to predictably recreate what creates 95% of a multiple seven-figure company, right? So this workflow, again, is meant to recreate the same process that has generated me over $4 million in the last 24 months. From October to December last year, we generated over $1.4 million in cash collected. And December, we did over $500,000 in cash collected. So that was good. So it's based off of a lot of success, at least based on my journey. And the second thing is affordability and sustainability. Every strategy and tactic works, but if you've tried something like paid advertising, you know that you have the tendency to stop them before they start working really well because you're worried that it will empty your cash accounts. Well, this acquisition infrastructure is made of components that even a kid working a summer job can afford to run for 90 days. So for me, a rule of thumb is if you can't do something for 90 days or more, don't even get started because you're wasting your time, right? And so this, allowing our clients to be able to keep it running for the required time for it to start producing the best results. So I needed a workflow that is sustainable, not just I'll do it for 1 week, and if it doesn't work, then I stop doing it. No, it's like you can afford to keep running it without being stressed, right? And the third thing is that it's about leverage, right? The founder isn't involved. Most entrepreneurs' failures are due to their own inconsistency. So I needed to figure out a way to get me and my clients out of getting clients, out of the process of appointment setting. And because if you're still involved in your appointment setting process and you're not where you need to be, trust me, it's because you're still involved, right? That's something that I've had to realize. And and then we're also leveraging media to sell. So we build it once and let it sell for us forever, right? I'm sure if you've seen anything from Naval Ravikant, he talks about the forms of leverage, and the permissionless leverage is, one of them is media and the other is code. So we're leveraging media and code at the same time. So this is the perfect appointment setting workflow and infrastructure if you have a process of that has delivered amazing results for your clients, right? So if you are a service provider and you know that every time I acquire a client and I deliver a result and I deliver a mechanism, my way of doing things, they get results consistently, please get on implementing this, right? Because if you have really good case studies, if you have really good transformation, and if you believe in your service a lot, at least like I do, then this process is going to change the game for you, right? Especially if you have something new, right? When you have something that is new, this thing works even better, right? So the win that I was talking about was from Muhiz. So we were on a call last Friday, and I asked him like, hey, how is everything going? And he told me that he just signed a $3,000 a month deal for over 90 days, so a 9K deal. And I asked him, hey, how did you actually see this win? And he essentially used the process that I'm about to walk you guys through. So yeah, so he's been using it and it's killing it for him, right? He wasn't involved at all into getting this deal. So what are the components of the system? So what do you need to pull this off? Well, first of all, you need $3 an hour VAs, right? When I was scaling past my first $50,000 a month, even though I had money, I wanted to be safe and scale with a mechanism that wouldn't bankrupt me if it failed. So I found out how to leverage $3 an hour setters and built a specific training for them so they can become experts at lead generation and appointment setting. And also, we all know that we're all lazy, and outreach is a pretty tedious activity. So I knew that having someone else do it for me, who's getting paid to do it, would automatically be a win. So I can kind of like show you guys what we do with our setters. So we've placed so many setters in companies, and every day they're just generating calls after calls in all kinds of niches: agencies, coaches and consultants, Amazon FBA sellers, so people selling programs, landscaping businesses, so local businesses we generate calls to. So any niche we generate results for, right? And we also have a pretty big base of setters. So if you can see here, we have actually up to 20,000 appointment setters, right? So all these are candidates that we can place in companies, and that's how we're able to fulfill on this. The second thing that you need a process selling video sales letter, right? So 5% of people who bought from me did it without knowing anything about me, but the remaining 95% bought after they had been educated. So for all the companies that we help scale, we're implementing a process selling VSL so that by the time a prospect ends up on a call with you, want your solution. The biggest obstacle that I've seen with most people's sales processes is the fact that, yes, they're booking calls, but the issue is they're booking calls with people who aren't educated, people who aren't warm, and you're having to take so many more calls to actually get a closed deal because people are getting on a call to learn about what you do instead of getting on a call to learn about the price. If you want to double your closing rate, get people to be sold before they jump on the call. And this has been tremendously helpful for our business as well as our clients' businesses, right? And we've been the reason why we have a lot of data around how to create really good VSLs is because we have so many video assets, sales assets that we've sent in so many niches, right? So real estate, TikTok, email marketing, dentists, people selling in so many different industries, and we've kind of like taken bits and pieces from videos that have confirmed and booked calls, and we've kind of like created a framework around creating this process selling VSL, right? And that's kind of like what we do for our clients. So guys like Hormozi understood this to the next level, right? This guy is giving away all his strategies, all his knowledge, and it created an insane amount of goodwill, insane amount of educated people, because your best client is an educated client, on why they need what you have to sell. I'm sure you've probably had people who are like, they're even questioning what you do, right? And now you even have to sell them because you want to make money, but it actually pisses you off because you're having to explain the hard work that you put in, right? What you need to do is give away the strategy, give away the process, right? And then you'll have, you'll literally become a mini Hormozi where you'll have founders delivering their multiple seven-figure company to your business who are, so you can scale them, right? Hormozi doesn't do outreach. He doesn't need this whole thing that I'm talking about because he's doing it at scale, right? That's essentially what we're going to be doing with this acquisition process, right? And the third component is you need to leverage social channels and technology, right? When I mean technology, I mean a tool like Surge Chat. So this is a tool that we've currently we implement in our clients' businesses where we sync all their outbound prospecting, so from different social channels, into one platform, into one CRM, and then we build kind of like their pipelines, their messages, all that good stuff on one process so that their setters don't have to get out. All the templates are here. It's literally one click of a button. You access everything, right? But I've made videos about that on another video, so I won't go too much in depth on this one. But so many people make the mistake of doing outreach on platforms that their prospects don't spend most of their time on, and they wonder why they can't get anyone to respond. As someone who has thousands of followers and who gets pitched daily on Instagram, I still see every pitch, right? Therefore, the best platform to pitch me on is Instagram, not my email account, not LinkedIn, not anywhere else. Go to Instagram because I spend most of my time there, right? So, and Meta, Facebook, Instagram, they make $30 billion every 90 days or more because they own our attention. Why wouldn't you want to tap into a $31 billion a quarter ecosystem, right? Most people want to recreate, they want to do something new when all we have to do is we don't need to. Facebook has already spent the billions and billions of dollars on engineers to try to figure out how we get people using a platform. When you're doing outbound prospecting, leverage their investments. Don't try to go on some other platforms that are underperforming. No, use the ones that are the most successful. Meta is one of the most successful, and then there is YouTube, right? But we leverage social channels. We don't try to go do some other channels, right? Now, if you had to go to 50K per month in 4 months, what would it take? So I want to walk you through these numbers because these numbers are super important. So let's say you have an average ticket price of 3.5K. And, if you want to add an extra 50K profit per month, then maybe you need 15 new clients, maybe not profit. We're just going to keep to revenue. 15 new clients in 120 days, gives you 50K new monthly recurring revenue. That means that you need on average 4 clients per month, 4 new clients per month, 1 new client per week. And with a 20% closing rate, which is, I guess, is average, maybe below average actually, you would need 20 sales calls per month, right? So 4 new clients divided by closing rate of 20% gives you 20 calls that needs to be taken. But we know that the show up rate is never 100%. So we actually need to book more calls to, so that means that with a 75% show up rate, we would need 27 sales calls booked per month, right? Now, since we're not necessarily using conversations to book calls, we're using this process selling VSL. And let's say that 5% of the views, which is really low, by the way, right? It can be up to 10%, 25% if your mechanism that you're delivering is really good. So with 5% of people, let's say watching the video, end up booking a call, then we need 540 people watching your process selling VSL. And if we bring that to daily numbers, then we need 23 people watching this asset, this sales asset, daily. It's simple, right? Now, if we're looking at outreach metrics, then you probably need, in order to get 23 views, on the average watch rate is 60% of everyone who receives the asset. That means that 38 prospects per day need to be raising their hand and being like, hey, yes, send me. 38 people need to have received the link to the asset, right? And 15% of everyone, just to keep it simple, of everyone you DM. So we have this direct value pitch DM that we have that has been getting us, over 20% response rate. But let's bring it back down to 15%. You would need 253 people per day that you're DMing every single day, offering them this asset, right? And that would get you this outcome. 3.5K ticket price, 15 new clients, 4 new clients per month, 20 sales calls generated with this process, 27 in total, if we include the no show, and 5% of everyone who watches your video should become a booked sales call, right? And so that's about it. And then this is the main number, right? Now for our clients, we get them to only do over 300 outreach per day, right? Leveraging their setters. And look at the cost, versus the projections on how much money you can make with this. So let's say the ticket price, we're going to use different ticket price, right? So if you have a 3.5K and you're averaging 3 clients per month, then the cost to actually get this outcome is $600 per month. So you have 2 setters, 5 hours each, times 20 days of work. That's $600 a month. And 3 new clients at 3.5K is 10.5K in your revenue, right? So $600 buys you 10 grand. And this is the beautiful thing about this process is you actually become more of like an investor. You're not really emotional and running your business and your appointment setting based on emotions, right? If your ticket price is $7,000 and you're averaging 3 new clients per month, then it's the same budget, $600 a month on your setters, but now you're bringing in $20,000. So pricing is super, super important. And then if you're like me and you're charging really high ticket, 15 grand, then you're averaging, let's say 3 new clients per month, then let's say you have 3 setters instead of 2, then you're spending $1,000 on average. and you're generating 45 new grand, $45,000 in your revenue. So $1,000 is buying you 44 grand in revenue. Isn't it pretty amazing? It is, right? So what other acquisition channel method will give you this type of potential and profitability? I don't think you can get this type of profitability on ads, because as you scale, so does the cost of advertising go up. With this, you have setters. Their cost per hour, so they can get you either 10 views in an hour or they can get you 100. It doesn't matter. So like the cost to actually generate this outcome does not go up as the outcomes get bigger, right? IG shoutouts profitability also isn't the same thing. Growth agencies, if you're hiring other agencies to do appointment setting for you, you will not get this type of return, right? Mohiz's $300 setter a month got him a $9,000 deal. That's a 30x on his investment, right? If you're interested in implementing this for your business, you can schedule a 15 to 30 minute walkthrough with client acquisition, .io growth consultant. If this can be implemented for your offer and industry, we'll show you how we'd go about implementing it in your business. And from there, you can see if this is something you want us to implement, or if it's something you want to implement yourself, right? So you can click here and you'll kind of like get the links for a walkthrough session. But we're also going to be giving you guys bonuses on the call, walking you guys through our 5 calls per day system. So we can actually scale this up to 5, 10, 20, 30, 50 calls per day, right? I've personally used it to generate over 56 calls in a day. I can show you briefly, 1 second. So yeah, if implemented properly, this can have the same potential, right? 29 calls generated in a day, 33 calls generated in a day, 45 calls generated in a day. I think our biggest was 56 sales calls in a single day, which was a bit ridiculous. And this is what our calendars look like. We have a lot of founders who come to us after they've gone through courses, high ticket coaching programs, even hired agencies, or even tried spending money on advertising, right? But it doesn't end up, they still don't have that predictability and a model of acquisition that is sustainable. So they come to us, we build up their whole thing, and we help them scale more at ease, right? And at peace, because it's hard when you can't consistently generate the attention that you want and the sales calls that you need to be able to hit your revenue goals. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So if you are interested in a 15-minute walkthrough session where we walk you through this whole infrastructure and the 5 call per day system, just click the link below and speak with my team, see if this is something that can help your business. You owe it to yourself to be a superstar and to run a successful company. Bye-bye.